I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to this because you watch YouTube channels like this one and you're most likely on your self-improvement journey. But along the pathway, you're going to meet a lot of different types of people, which is actually really awesome. You know, throughout our entire lifetimes, there's always people coming in, people leaving, and that's exciting. We get variety in our lives because we're on this pathway of improvement, so we continually meet new, more awesome people along the way. The sad part about this though is that 90% of the people you actually meet along this pathway are likely to be a net negative influence on your life if you allow them to be. And you watching this video right now, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. I bet a specific person just popped up in your mind as I said that. Maybe even multiple people have just popped up into your mind, right? So, interesting game to play now, boys. Think of those people in your head as I go through this list of 7 types of people that you must avoid at all costs on your self-improvement journey. Otherwise, you risk being dragged down to their level. We want the lifestyles of freedom. We want the attraction of beautiful women. We want the respect of our families. We want the ability to provide and protect. We want to be strong, masculine men. But if you allow these types of people to infiltrate your circle, they're going to throw you off big time, and you're actually going to end up moving backwards in life, which is not what we want. The first type of person is narcissistic. I bet you've met a few narcissists in your life. These people are incredibly self-absorbed, constantly tooting how awesome they are, ego posturing themselves above other people around them, and are also typically selfish. They don't always mind you winning as long as you're not outwinning them. You might also find that narcissists can be overly competitive. Now, there's nothing bad about being competitive. In fact, it's a superpower that us men should be using on a daily basis. But the narcissist will make a competition out of things which aren't even competitive in the slightest. For example, if you're brand new to fighting and you go into spar with a narcissist, they're likely to just wail on you and continue fighting at their own level rather than what most people do and what you should do, scale back your skills to let the other person have a chance of learning. Those are narcissists, guys. The second type of people are gossipers. You want to avoid these guys at all costs because they gain their feelings of importance by gossiping, literally spreading little rumors, little white lies. These guys are fucking snakes, man. They're the least trustworthy people that you can have around, and if you don't have trust inside of a relationship, then you don't have a relationship. And also, just gossiping is very feminine. You know, women gossip. You don't want the type of men in your network or in your circle who gossip because that is very telling as to their status in terms of masculinity and femininity. They're probably falling more like here. Strong men don't have to gossip to gain their feelings of importance and their value inside of their tribe, okay? Avoid these guys at all costs. They're all pussies. Number 3 is negative influences. These are the type of guys who are going to say to you, oh, just one more game of Rocket League, bro, before you go to sleep. It's just one more game. Sam, you've got to try this drug at least one time in your life. Are you not going to be curious for the rest of your life as to how it is? Like, you should just try it at least once, man. These are the type of people who, if you hang around with for long enough, are going to lead you down a state of decay rather than growth. You guys are probably very familiar with the average of 5 rule. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you hang around with people who are doing activities which are leading them down a state of decay, you're also, by default, going to fall into that category as well. The 4th type of person are the Mr. Allergic to Responsibility types. These guys are absolutely allergic to any sort of accountability, and they'll make any excuse and they'll do anything to avoid taking responsibility over things that they've done. Sorry, bro, I didn't mean to do this, but it wasn't my fault I flirted with your girlfriend. She messaged me first. Now, obviously, you don't want to be hanging around with people at all who are flirting with your girlfriend, but that's just an example. These guys are doing wrong things, but failing to take any responsibility for it. And doing wrong things is fine. We're human. We make mistakes. The difference is, and what's telling to your character, is how you respond when you do something wrong. Do you take accountability and grow from it and don't do it again? Or do you not take accountability and ship the responsibility off to something else outside of your control because you're a pussy? Avoid these people at all costs because they're gonna fuck you over and take no responsibility for it. And frankly, step 0 to personal growth is taking accountability and responsibility over your own life. If you can't even do that, you have no room to grow. You can't even begin to grow. The 5th type of people are yes men. These guys have no backbone and no values. They're simply just going to nod along and agree with whatever you say. And this is very dangerous. It might feel great when you have a yes man around you and they're always agreeing with you and never arguing with you. But when you extrapolate what this means, it means that their values and their morality are up for sale. And perhaps in the current moment, they're aligning their values with your values perfectly. You never know when that's going to change. They might decide tomorrow that someone else is way cooler than you because they have more money or they have some sort of status symbol which they want, and then they just become a yes man to that guy. Their morals and their values are up for sale. These are terrible people to have around. These people are also incredibly highly emotional and flippant. You don't want someone who agrees with you on everything. It's actually really weird when you find someone like that, because it's near enough impossible for us to align on literally everything. So you're fronting with some sort of fake persona to try and impress me. And then the natural question which arises in my head is, why? What do you want from me? These guys aren't good people to have around. They're usually bad faith actors. Get rid of them as soon as you figure out that they're yes men. You don't want yes men in your life. Number 6 is envious people. These types of people are very reluctant to celebrate your successes with you. They might pretend that they're happy for you, but like, how does their body language align with that? Are they genuinely happy for you? Or are they putting on a fake smile and pretending that they're happy for you? Because deep down, they're probably very jealous of any sort of success that you have above theirs. And in private, they're probably actually praying for your downfall, and maybe they're even offering you tidbits of advice and leading you down pathways which do not bear any fruits. You understand? If someone's envious of you or jealous of your success, they're likely to try and take that away from you in very subtle and manipulative ways. You do not want jealous or envious people in your inner circle. That is disastrous. Self-destructive people. I've already mentioned the average of 5 rule. If you're hanging around with a bunch of self-destructive people who are nihilistic and they don't have any sort of good outlook on the world, and they're finding their feelings of fulfillment through vices like cigarettes, alcohol, drugs, video games, whatever it may be, you're going to end up just like that if you just hang out with them. It's also an incredibly low vibrational state for a person to be in when they're self-destructing, and that energy is very sticky. So if you allow it to stick to you, you will also end up in a very low vibrational state. And you might be thinking, Sam, like, this is a guy who's self-destructing, I should try and help him. Well, sadly, most of the time when you're hanging out with people who are self-destructing, you're actually just reinforcing their behavior. You're teaching them that every time they self-destruct, they get your attention, which means they're going to continue to self-destruct. The best thing you can do for these people is to fucking distance yourself. Those are 7 types of people that you should avoid at all costs on your self-improvement journey. If you want to learn how to make money online from the comfort of your bedroom or traveling the world with your laptop, I teach over 500 students how to do exactly that through video editing. I can also show you how to do exactly that. As you can see on the screen, we're getting excellent results inside of the academy, and you could be next. Take care, boys.